Hey songwriters, today we're talking about 5 ways to rock at songwriting. Let's go. So what does it mean to rock at songwriting? It means writing songs that don't sound like they've been written a million times before, using unique concepts and unique perspectives. But why do you want to rock at songwriting? The answer is simple. You want to be happy and proud of the songs you write, and you want to be excited to share them with your fans, your family, the rest of the world. You want to be better than you have been, and you want to improve your craft. So how do you achieve this? Well, first, you have to write about unique topics or familiar topics in a unique way. Try to avoid the same story ideas, the same cliche ideas that many other amateur writers do. And try to be original and write something that no one else would have thought of. It's all about finding your own unique voice and your own unique perspective. Even if you're writing about the same topic, many times your perspective and your thoughts, if you're honest with them, will come through and make your song more unique than other writers. The second key aspect to rocking at songwriting is to have a full toolbox. What do we mean by full toolbox? Well, that means that you know a lot of exercises, you know a lot of processes, you know a lot of songwriting theory, you know a lot of just ways that you can develop songs, ways that you can develop ideas. And when I say songwriting theory, I don't mean music theory. I mean knowing about song structure, knowing how rhyme schemes work, knowing the tools that you have to create prosody and contrast with your lyrics, how to create prosody and contrast with your melodies, how do you do that with your chords, how do you do that with your grooves. And the thing is if you have this toolbox of processes, exercises, and just things that you can do, that is your silver bullet to kill the beast of writer's block. You won't even think the words writer's block anymore because you just know how to write songs, because you know what to do. Songwriting is part inspiration and part know-how, and a lot of times inspiration doesn't show up, so you got to rely on the know-how on how to do that. So the second way to rock at songwriting is to have that in your back pocket, your toolbox. The third way to rock at songwriting is by incorporating stronger structure into your songs. And when I'm talking about structure, there's a couple of different areas that I'm talking about. The first is song form. So are you writing verse, chorus, bridge, chorus? Are you doing verse, refrain, bridge, verse, refrain? Are you doing verse, verse? What is that song form? But then let's take it a level deeper and start to learn about the actual structure that's underneath. You'll find that hit songs and commercial songs, which many of us want to emulate, and some of you out there might have the dream of actually writing a hit song someday, but if you listen to them and if you look at them, structure is so important in a commercial song, because the melody has to be structured so the listener can feel it, can remember it, can get it stuck in their head. The lyrics have to be structured in a certain way to where they feel natural, yet they get a point across. And you also have to know what information you're putting into the song as well. And then, of course, there's a lot of musical production and groove and just performance structure that you should know to rock at songwriting as well. If you focus on the internal workings and the internal structure of your songs, the key here is to get better at using contrast and prosody. There's other videos on this channel that talk all about contrast and prosody, so if you're not familiar with those concepts, definitely check out the other videos here at Home Songwriting, because this is so important, and a lot of amateur writers are not thinking about this. So you could put yourself like 2 steps ahead of everybody else if you start to learn these and really practice and grasp it. Also, number 4, this is a big one when it comes to songwriting and what separates the amateurs from songs that sound like professional songs. And I'm not saying that you have to try to be a professional, but there's nothing wrong with trying to have a professional sounding song. You can be an at-home songwriter and write at the pro level, and that's my goal, to help you do that. And this is like top of the heap type stuff. So it may be the number 4 thing on this video, but it's definitely not the least important. And this is matching your verses to each other melodically. So many amateur songwriters pay no attention to how their verses are matching each other, and it sounds amateur. And I've had some people ask me, well, why does that matter? Well, it matters because the listener wants to learn how to sing your song, and they want to know what section they're in. So if your verses don't match, that means they sound like different sections, and your listener is like, where am I in this song? You know, I don't know where I'm going. It feels like a new section to me. It's like, oh, this is a verse, I don't know. And just think about if you were playing this song or having someone learn the song quickly, like if you were having another singer sing it, having your verses match melodically, and when we say melodically, we mean rhythm and pitch. The melody matches in verse 1 to verse 2. There can be tiny variations, but for the most part, try to make your verses match. It will take your songs 10 steps higher on the scale, because a lot of songwriters don't do this, and it's so important. So I don't want to catch you not doing it, okay? The fifth way is writing on a regular basis and writing as much as you can so you can learn how to spot issues in your own writing. I know way too many songwriters that write 2 or 3 songs a year. Okay, that's fine, but they also say they want to be a professional songwriter, and they spend months on these 2 to 3 songs. They are not going to advance as quickly and as well as songwriters who are writing on a more consistent basis. And I think a good goal for you is to maybe write a full song a week. And don't rewrite these things to death. Some songs are just not going to be the one, right? Pat Pattison says 90% of what you write is not your best 10%. I like to think that, 95% of what you write is not going to be your best 5%. So if you're only writing one song every couple months, chances of that song being worth it are pretty slim to none. And the only way that you actually can get really good at knowing the tools and knowing what works and what doesn't work is if you're writing on a regular basis. So if you want to rock at songwriting and you want to be steps ahead of other writers at your level, you need to write more. So if you make your goal to rock at songwriting and you focus on learning and you focus on practicing and focusing on getting a little bit better all the time, you will eventually frickin' rock at songwriting. It's all about the dedication, the hard work, the study, keeping that student mindset. And I think you have that because you're watching these videos, and I really appreciate you watching At Home Songwriting. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and then also, if you want to check out online courses, or maybe you want to take one-on-one coaching sessions with me, there's a link in the description for At Home Songwriting courses. I have online courses that you can do at your own pace. I also do email song critiques if you want me to critique your work, see kind of where you're at, and then also one-on-one coaching sessions via Zoom. So check all of that out. And also check out this other video on the channel that's going to help you keep advancing and keep rocking at songwriting. I'm Chad Shank. See you next time.